Are you ready? 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 Are you ready?
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are. Welcome to another episode of Just Us with Khutso and Emily, where we get to discuss everyday issues in a way that unites the world. So, Emily, hello there with Kira.
Hi, yeah, I got Kira here today, which is very convenient because today we were going to be talking about kids and surviving school holidays with kids.
Yeah, because both of us just had our school holidays, right? Which our Northern Hemisphere friends couldn't say.
Right, yeah. So over 10 to 12 weeks, I think it is. We get 2 weeks off. Though I think it stems from the British system. And so maybe there are folks in the Northern Hemisphere who do have school holidays, but I don't know if they're timed the same as ours. Interestingly, our school holidays are at the same time. Both our kids were off at the same time, weren't they?
Yeah. Now, we tend to discover a lot of these parallels. If we end up going on vacation at the same time just because our kids are out at the same time. It's like, but aren't you on the other side of life? Of the world.
I remember that when we were on the road at the same time.
Yeah, and we didn't even plan it, right? And it just so happened. Same with the school holidays, When we were planning this podcast, we were like, okay, so when can we do it? You're like, yeah, well, the kids are home. It's school holidays. I'm like, mine too.
Yes.
Yeah. Emily, go ahead.
Around Kira, did you enjoy the school holidays?
Mm-hmm.
What did you do, honey?
We're going to the farm.
Oh, we went to the farm. That's right. We went to see our friend's farm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Did you do anything silly during the school holidays?
Yes.
What was that?
I can't remember.
Can't remember. Did you make any messes?
No.
No. No child ever makes a mess. Not that they acknowledge.
So innocently and so confidently.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking through this concept of school holidays because in the U.S., you don't have these 10-week terms and then 2 weeks off. You have that big chunk of time in the summer. And I was trying to compare because my daughter just did a year in the U.S. and then now we're doing a year here. And I was thinking, okay, what is actually better? What makes more sense? And I kind of mixed feelings because I have to admit, I started to be very analytical and I thought, it's really disruptive business-wise to have these breaks. If you're running a business, particularly if it runs based on children, that every 10 weeks you have to all of a sudden stop your business and function for 2 weeks with potentially no income flow. And then if your children are doing any kind of activity, there's always a 2-week break because everything stops with the school term. And then if you're a working parent, particularly if you don't have any family or support, you have to take leave or figure out a way every 10 weeks how to cope with school holidays. So I know here it's always this big panic. Oh God, it's school holidays. What are we going to do? What am I going to do with my kid this time? Versus when you have one big chunk of time, that it's a big plan and it's planned and you have camps that are, run for X number of weeks. And so, but then at the same time, so I think, and then I thought, I guess, economically you have these surges every 10 weeks, obviously when parents go on holidays for 2 weeks, every 10 weeks versus one chunk of time. And then it is a really long period in the summer in the States. So you're really trying to get through a long period with your kids hanging around and getting bored. And I feel like they actually get to a point where they're ready to go back to school. So, I don't know. I think I have to say, I think I'm leaning towards the summer, the big chunk of
The
time.
longest summers.
Longer. Yeah. It just, it's, my older daughter said, "Oh, mommy, am I going into a new grade now?" Because she got confused. Like, why did we just started school and now all of a sudden we're having a break again?
Yeah.
And so, because the last break was the Christmas break, which here is summer, but it's when you have the biggest break. And so then you change grades after that. So
Right.
slightly
Right.
confused, and her education flow was confused. So
Yeah.
I always thought I'd be more of a fan of the term system, but I think I'm strangely leaning towards the summer system. So anyway, I thought I remember we were talking, and I thought I'd kind of throw it up to you to see what you thought, because I know that with the kids you haven't experienced the U.S., but then you're running a business on your own and functioning, solo in many respects, and just wondering how it worked out for you as well.
Well, yeah, you're right. I don't have that frame of comparison with the kids. The kids don't. I do, but they don't. And just a shout out, I can, somebody streaming in, welcome to our show, whoever is streaming in. We can't see who you are, but welcome. Yeah, what did we end up doing? Gosh, working from home, it's because I've worked from home now for almost 3 years, if not longer. My working from home totally precedes COVID. And so for me, my schedule is the same. I work the same now as I did throughout COVID, as I do during the school holidays. The only thing you do notice the pressure, because the kids are a little more bored, and there are a few more interruptions that, to your work schedule, because they need this and they need that. And but my kids, luckily, I mean, they're not that much older than yours. They're just 10, 11, and 6 and 7. But they've learned to take care of themselves. I mean, there are 3 of them, so they just play with each other. And that's what they did for the most part, And I have to admit, when you have them home and you're really trying to juggle work and other things, you just gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, if they want to watch TV, I'm sorry, call me a bad parent. That's what happens. I mean, they're out of school. Come on now, they're gonna go back to school and learn. I mean, do they only have to watch educational shows? It's like they watch TV, they keep themselves busy, and I'm very strict on electronics. In fact, I don't buy electronics for them. My 11-year-old has a laptop, but it's really strictly for school, and we don't do phones and stuff. And I live in a place where we have a really nice community. Just about all my neighbors have kids their age, so they're able to play with their friends. That said, I can't say that I let them watch TV all day. It's like after a few hours, I'm like, what? You're still watching TV? Come on, go play. And truly, you're not as hands-on, when you're having all those many things to juggle as you would like. Because you're just in survival. You're just trying to get through the day. Make sure they're fed, nobody's dying. And, and then, of course, my daughter got sick. We ended up taking a little road trip. Actually, we did go away for a few days. We went away and visited my mom, about 3-4 hours away, and that was fun. It was pretty low key. Not too different for me, because I've had to work with them around for a while.
That's another thing that was parallel for us, is our kids got sick at the same time. Remember that?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. And it's like, how does the bug travel between New Zealand and South Africa? Except through our phone lines or whatever. Because somehow what goes on in your household has to happen here, and vice versa.
Your household.
Yeah, no, it was hilarious. It's like, yeah, I just took mine in. She had a bad tummy bug. Yours had a bad tummy bug too, right? Yeah. I guess it's the change of seasons. I find my kids tend to get sick when seasons change, because we're just settling into the winter now.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous of our northern hemisphere friends because I can't stand winter. So it's like, oh, wish we were going into the summer, but oh well. In our ideal world, Emily, you managed to do this somehow. You're a lot more versatile in terms of your mobility. You're able to keep moving between the south and the north a lot more frequently than I do. So
Yeah,
in my idea,
I have been
sorry.
managing to have continuous summers.
Yeah,
Which,
that's what I would like. In my ideal world, that's what I would like. Every 6 months might be very disruptive to the kids, but because you can't quite do that literally every 6 months. You do every year. It's like you spend a year here, spend a year there, that sort of thing. Mostly, yeah. Not every
well,
6 months
it's
necessarily.
interesting because it has really been summer to summer. So I managed to this last one was in the States from February, but then went through the summer, and then right in end of September, start of the fall, came to New Zealand, which was their tail end of winter, moving into their spring and coming into their summer. So I have to admit, I missed the super cold.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
definitely can't do cold weather. Our mutual friend from Brazil, it's funny, she's the only other person I know here in New Zealand that when I go to her house, it's like a tropical sauna in her house because she keeps her heater blowing the whole time, which is pretty much what I do. And of course, electricity is not cheap in this country. So
I was gonna say, how's that even affordable?
You see how much we do not like the cold. We're willing to pay a fortune just to be in probably the temperatures of what she gets to have in Brazil, which
Yeah.
that would be nice.
Yeah.
Right now.
And of course, the houses in New Zealand are very similar to the houses in South Africa, exact opposite of the houses in the US, in that they're not insulated.
Yeah.
Mostly. Yeah, so it's just always drafty. It's like you turn on the heater and the heat goes out immediately. And it's like, okay, what's the point?
Right.
Because I'm still cold and I have this high electricity bill to go with it.
So I imagine in South Africa, well, you don't have the central heating or central cooling systems. It's all the type of thing I have behind me is what most houses would have. That's the type of thing. That's kind of the more advanced thing that you would have here. Otherwise, you're looking at the very even less sophisticated heaters like this.
Yeah, that's what we have in South Africa.
Totally
Mostly.
not economical. Yeah. Totally not economical.
Yeah. No, that's certainly the case. It takes a bit of getting used to, having to be uncomfortable. Earlier, just as we were getting on, you saw how layered I was. You're like, girl, is it very cold? I'm sorry?
I said, you need to, I was just joking. You need to take some clothes off. But I have an echo here. I have a shadow and an echo right now.
Oh dear.
My little 4-year-old here who's repeating everything I'm saying. So.
Well, that's what we offer. We're moms. We gotta do what we gotta do.
This is what we were going to move into: is the fun, the quirky, the challenging, maybe even things that our kids did over the school holidays. Now, this little one here with me, I think, is very appropriately sitting here in this podcast that she's not supposed to be in, but decided that she would join us tonight. And she is the one who keeps us entertained in our household. The number of adventures she has on her own within the walls of our house can be quite entertaining and usually result in some kind of concoction that she's put together. She likes to go into the kitchen cupboards and pull out as much as she can, pour it all into a bowl.
Oh, God.
And then see if we'll all taste test it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like an excellent idea from where she's sitting. All right. Gosh, what do my kids do anymore? I can't think of it. I'm just so used to their
Oh, thank you.
you know, to what they do. I don't even notice it. I don't even notice it much anymore. Like the 7-year-old twin, he's a total martial artist, self-taught. You know, he's constantly battling monsters. I mean, he was right here outside my window a few minutes ago. I was like, yeah. He does that for hours on end every day. So it's not news over here. We just know Nolo does that. That's just a Nolo thing. And the twin girl, who's also 7, what does she like to do? Oh, she's the artist. Oh gosh, my daughter will sit there for hours on end just drawing and creating, and my office is full of papers I'm not supposed to toss. It's like, oh, this is so beautiful. Do I get to keep this one too? And you feel bad because you know it was made with love and you really want to keep some of it. But, you know, when you get 5, 6, 7 pieces of gifts, of presents every day, you know, it's like, which of these can I keep? And man, she's like a little bag lady. She does not toss anything at all. So everyone, I got little boxes for all of it, actually big boxes for all their stationery and arts and stuff. For each one, her box is always open and full because she doesn't toss anything. It's like, okay, honey, can we just unpack this thing and then, you know, we toss what we don't need? No, we need all of it because we keep it for posterity. All of it. It's like, okay, so, you know, the way I deal with that is when she's not looking, that's when a whole lot of it disappears because you cannot, it's like if you're going to negotiate what you get rid of, you will be negotiating till the cows come home and you won't be able to get rid of half of it. So, because all of it is important, that, you know, this, she attaches sentimental value to every single piece of paper. Oh, man.
You know, I had this thought right at this moment, Khutso. I think talking about our kids and having this session this weekend was absolutely appropriate because it is actually Mother's Day on Sunday.
Oh, yeah. That is so true.
Yeah, which we were having a discussion in the car because Kira, my little one here, you can see her foot, she was born on Mother's Day.
Oh.
In that year, so in 2017, which is not Mother's Day.
Every year.
Yeah, every year.
Mm-hmm. And her birthday every year, but not Mother's Day every year. I was trying to explain. That's actually, you know, I was trying to explain. These are the concept. Trying to explain these things to your children, it can be challenging. So they were trying to understand how it's not her birthday, but she was born on Mother's Day. And I was saying, gosh,
okay.
Yeah. Good luck explaining that.
Yeah, it just ended. I was like, you know what? I don't know. That's usually what it's just,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Emily, with your PhD, you don't know.
But I was like, wait a second. Mother's Day is the second Sunday of every year. It's the second Sunday of May, right?
Yeah.
And then, so then you're right. I had to start thinking PhD wise. It's like, okay. So if Mother's Day is the 9th this year, and then it was the 14th that year, I wonder how it rotates. And then now I was trying to get all clever and trying to calculate what it would be every year. Anyway, I'm going off topic, but I just want to acknowledge.
Well, speaking of, my son, my 11-year-old just reminded me not too long ago, or like about an hour ago, he says, oh, Mama, you know, Mother's Day is this Sunday. Can we celebrate it earlier or something? He said it's on Monday and he wants to celebrate it on Sunday. I was like, oh, okay. Why am I hearing about it? I thought I'm the one that's getting a surprise. And why am I needing to give permission for people to celebrate it, you know? But oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. I thought it was sweet that he even remembered because I didn't really. So yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I was gonna change the topic. I was gonna say, speaking of Mother's Day, in a nutshell, what would you say? Coming out of school holidays, Mother's Day, what would you say are the highlights for you of being a mom?
Put me on the spot. You know what was going through my mind as you
Organic.
were asking that question? You know what was going through my mind? Well, I was
What?
thinking of the best Mother's Day gift, and I was like, ooh, a babysitter.
Yes.
2 hours alone. So you really caught me off guard there because you
Oh,
turned
well,
me around.
well, actually, I think that's a more interesting question to entertain than,
Oh,
the more intellectual. No, yeah, I hear you. Time alone is very rare when you're a mom, and especially when you live in an environment where you don't have support,
yeah. I
as
think,
we do.
you can't beat those moments where your child just says to you, I love you, mommy.
Yes.
And they always seem to time it just exactly when you don't expect it. And it's just like perfect. And you think, oh, that's all of those naughty things they might have done that day, or all those challenges you might have had, you just seem to
They
disappear.
just disappear. Yeah. Yeah.
Child's love is genuine, isn't it? It's very genuine.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
my daughter, actually, my oldest daughter, and I have it on, she'll sometimes write little post-it notes or something that says, I love you, mommy. And
Oh.
I guess it's something, maybe children think it's just, oh, whatever, I just wrote I love you. But for us as adults, we don't tend to do that often, do we? Of course, we do it to our children, but not between each other, or, with our family necessarily as we grow older. So it's just very precious when they acknowledge that without you prompting it, or without, without,
It's you're fishing for it. Yeah.
No, I mean, just without prompting it, or without, I don't know.
No, I hear what you're saying though. And I'll have to admit, I think that is also my favorite, one of my favorites about being a mom. Yesterday, actually. Well, speaking of the little notes, my artist daughter all her notes have I love you, mommy on them. That's why they cannot get tossed, right? It's either her and mommy or her whole family and whatnot. And but what my son said most recently, my 11-year-old, I was picking them up from school yesterday, and what did he say? I don't remember how it came up, but the message he relayed was, "Mom, you're always there for us." And I thought, oh, that is so sweet. Because, when you just run around and you struggle and you're like, oh, does this one have pants? Does this one have socks? Does this one have shoes? Or you're juggling multiple kids on your own. It's, you really, you get wound up in the struggles. You don't realize that actually these people are fine. They feel cared for. What they need has been met, and that you're winning. You don't realize how much you're able to accomplish because you're in your provider mode. They're in the receiver mode. And I think it's so beautiful when you have kids that have the capability to see that and acknowledge it. I know not everybody, every parent thinks their child is perfect. Of course, all our children are perfect. But I've encountered children who really just take these things for granted. And I've always wished that, my children would be a lot more grateful and notice, things like that. And so that really warmed my heart. I thought, oh, so I'm not doing such a bad job. And my daughter said to me this morning, of course we can always swap children's stories. It's a never-ending topic. She said to me, oh, Mama, I want to be a communicator just like you. I said, oh, I thought, These children really think I'm a really awesome mom. They really think so. I mean, I may not think so, but they do. You know, regardless of what I wish I could do differently for them and with them, they're fine. They're
Yeah.
fine. Bless their hearts. Really.
So I it dawned on me a good little story about the funny things they do, and it's in line with appreciating their mother. I think it was last weekend. I was cleaning the house very intensely, trying to get it perfectly clean and tidy. And the girls decided they were going to help me. So they wanted to clean the windows. And so they took off on their own with the cloth and some spray and went around to clean all our windows. Now, if you saw my house is basically 3/4 windows. So we have lots of sliding doors and lots of windows. And so especially in the lounge area, it's open plan. It's kind of this big scenery that you look out to. And so you have these big windows to look through. Well, bless their heart, their version of cleaning a window was quite different to mine. So I come back and I see these windows that have smudges all over them. You can't even see through them because when you clean windows, you have to do it. You really need a special type of spray and you really need a special type of cloth. Otherwise, it just kind of gets all smudgy, whatever you're cleaning. It's spread around, and that's what happened. And I was one of those moments that I could never say, "Oh, yeah, no, not quite like that." And I just said, "Oh, this is great," and I just left them there, these very, very smudged windows, for about a week because I didn't want to go and clean them again.
Yes, you'd be undoing all the good work, Mom.
Yeah, right. I had to laugh. That was one of those classic moments where them trying to help actually didn't really help me, but it was very much appreciated, the thought. So
yes. No, I hear you all the time. I mean, it does take a while to train them to do things right, doesn't it? At this age, you're just glad when they've got the interest, right? And that's good enough. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Emily, is it time already? Look at the time, 27 minutes.
Blabber on forever, can't we?
Yeah. No, the topic of kids, I think every parent just loves it because it's so universal, Right. Every parent can relate, and we all like to share our little stories about, this and that, our kids, this and that, and hope they forgive us when they grow up and listen to our podcasts about them. When they were 7, 11, and 3, 4, respectively, because between the two of us, we have 3 7-year-olds. Yes, my 7-year-old twins.
7-year-olds.
Yeah, who are actually 2 weeks apart, right?
Yeah,
7-year-olds are 2 weeks
apart.
Little
thing.
Yeah.
Very thought.
Yeah. So between the two of us, we got 5 kids. The 11-year-old, 3 7-year-olds, and your 4-year-old.
My 4-year-old, soon to be 4-year-old.
Oh, so, yes. Mother's Day soon.
Well,
the 14th.
The 15th is actually her birthday, but she was born just as the clock ticked over to 15th. So I consider her a Mother's Day.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so happy Mother's Day, everybody. Enjoy your weekend.
Yes,
do what you love, and hopefully your kids help you have a wonderful day. You never know what the surprise might be. I have a surprise sitting on my countertop. I'm excited to
Sweet.
Open it up. So
yeah. You know what? Before you go, I realized recently in the last month or two, and I've had an eventful month, as you know. And so in the last month or two, I realized I'm enjoying motherhood, or I'm experiencing motherhood in a very different way. I've really given myself time to really get down to their level and appreciate them for who they are. Because typically I'm just like run, get out of my way. I'm trying to make food for you. Yeah, there's this client, there's this job, there's this, da, da, da. And, I end up just not really enjoying the journey with them. But since I made that commitment to myself that I really am going to try to connect with them and get to see the world through their eyes. Oh man, it's so much. It's really quite nice. They smudge the windows when they're trying to help, but you understand they didn't just ruin the windows, right? It's just like you said.
You have when it's time to discipline or fix a situation versus embrace it with a bit of comedy.
Yeah. No, I tell you. So I guess this was a long way of saying to the moms out there, I do wish you a happy Mother's Day, but most specifically, if you can find a way to just chill and look at the world through your children's eyes, at the end of the day, this is what we signed up for. I have to keep reminding myself every day. I wanted my kids badly. They didn't ask to be here. I wanted them really badly. So now that they're here, I can't be busy just trying to make money for them. Just as well take the time to enjoy them. And they grow up so fast. I was thinking to myself, there are at least a couple of years that I feel like I skipped in terms of my older boy's life. I was right here, but I don't remember him being in grade 4. It's like, what happened that year? So I don't want to miss any of that. And I know that that's what's going to enhance my Mother's Day. If I can just really remember, that's why I chose to be a mom, to experience the craziness around them, not just to provide for them. So that's me, what I just learned, for what it's worth. Seriously, we should go. I think we did 31 minutes already.
Okay, we'll go now.
Okay, we'll go. Well, happy Mother's Day, everybody. And any more closing thoughts? Oh, thank you, Kira. Thank you, Kira. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. See you next time. Bye. And don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.